I send it to you. Hi, thanks for inviting me. I'm probably one of your oldest people that have to send, but I hope that I can share with you my journey. What I wanted to show you is, can you pop up the slides, Selina? Can you have a look at the slide and bring it up for me?
Yeah. Just a minute.
Yeah, it's a PDF. Yeah. I'm over 50, and I've seen lots of people. I've nurtured lots of people, and I've got lots of friends in alternative career who are medics. The key thing about medicine is it's a very, very long career. It is very difficult, and you have to be very resilient. And the reason is very simple, because I was telling you the statistics. For all of us to get to med school, most of us are probably top of our school, straight A students, okay? And then suddenly go to med school. When we're in med school, we realize that everybody who are also very clever have come from different parts of the country and also coming into the same school and are the same smart level as we are. And for the first time, you realize that you're not top of your class. Whereas in, from 6, SPM, you are the top kid. Suddenly, you're an average kid. When you're in med school, you realize, gosh, this is tough. And in medicine, there is no shortcut. People wanted to bring down the grades to get into med school, and that's wrong. And the reason is because there's so much knowledge to acquire. You need to have the stamina, you need to have the tenacity, you need to be very, very disciplined, and of course, your degree of intelligence to be able to make it through the first part of your career, which is to get a medical degree, okay? And then once you graduate, you become a houseman, you think, wow, I've got it, okay? Whereas most of your other friends would have gone straight into a career, gone into management scheme, join an accounting firm or law firm, and then start their career. You haven't even started anything. What you have is just a degree. And a degree which just tells you that you have the basic medical knowledge. And sadly, that medical knowledge can't even get you a job, because all you have is knowledge with no experience. Okay, have you got the slide up? Can you?
Sorry, Dr. Hoh, where did you send the slide to?
Medical footprints are where you send me back from. No? Okay, never mind. So now you are having so the next thing is you now have a very difficult, challenging position in Malaysia. Not a lot of people get their house job that they want, and that's very, very tough. Yeah, so that already has put a lot of people off, because until you've done your houseman, you are not really gazetted and you don't have your APC. You just have a pending APC. This is the time I think most of you, some of your audience are here. That is very tough, because that is the law. You need that 3 years houseman. But let's say you've gone through that, because I think about 20 to 30% may not get the house job in the first year. So you have to wait for the second year. And in the meantime, you don't know what to do, which is where Selina has brought in this forum for you all to explore to see anything else. Then once you got your house job, you thought, okay, I'm in. I'm sorry to say, but you're in the beginning, at ground zero again. Medical school, when you first start on day one, you're ground zero. Now you realize you're back to ground zero again. And that is so painful, because when you go in to get an MO job, let's say you get a contract one or you get a tenure one, and you get sent out, like Selina was sent out to East Coast, East Malaysia and things, you actually know very little. You've got plenty of knowledge, but no real life experience. You probably don't know how to do a lumbar puncture, you don't know how to do a CVT line. And that's when you need a lot of guidance, and hopefully your seniors will teach you through. And that is your MO position. That is between 2 to 4 or 5 years, depending on how where you are and what you want to do next. A lot of people, at that time, you're already coming up to 30. That's where you will think, hey, hang on, I need a family, I want to settle down, I just can't keep studying forever. So some become GPs. This is where the alternative careers come in. I'll talk about that later. But let's say you are quite determined, I want to be a specialist. So you can be a physician specialist or a surgeon specialist. Doesn't matter, to get into a specialty program and to call yourself a specialist and to be registered under the National specialist registry, which is NSR, you need to go through a formal training process. And that is extremely competitive, okay? Each intake, going through either USM, UM, or UKM, they go through a conjoint now, I think. So they select from there. And each selection from each specialty is probably no more than a batch of 20, okay? Each specialty 20 to 30, okay? Divided up into all the 3 or 4 universities. And can you imagine now, you are now going to go to somewhere where probably the acceptance rates is only probably 10 or 15% of the applicants. To get into med school, you're already the top of your school, which is like 1%, top 1%. So now you're going to be the top 1%, top 15% of the top 1% is 0.015. Can you imagine? That is your chance from ground zero to get to here. And this is where it gets quite depressing, because each round is, I think, 1 year intake. So once you miss that 1 intake, then you have to sit back and do another MO job and keep waiting. And this is the time when, again, you can't get past the wall, you drop out and to go to another career, which we'll talk about later. But assuming you did get into a master's program, I hate to say it, but you are still at ground zero again. It's depressing, because everything that you've learned at your MO, everything that learned you in med school, is very general. Let's say you've gone into ONG. You'd be starting to learn everything about ONG from ground zero, because all those things that you did in the MO and things, some may overlap, but majority you'll be starting all over again. You'll be learning your anatomy and physiology specifically for that. I'm an ophthalmologist. Most of you didn't do much ophthalmology except for 2 weeks in your career. So if you did ophthalmology, you're starting from ground zero. Everything you have to relearn again. So you are like, again, and that when you get into a master's program, is probably you're 30. That's what it's about, resilience. You're starting to learn new things again at the age of 30. And most master's program is 3 to 4 years. So let's say you come out at about 35, about 34, then you need to do, usually they send you away for a fellowship overseas, or you can do a local fellowship. Most people will probably choose somewhere in Singapore so that they can be near the family, because by then, you're probably married already. Then when you come out, because once the master's program, you have to do another 5 to 7 years bond to the university to repay the time. And that is a good time, because it also allows you to hone in all your skills, either surgical skills or whatever skills pertaining to that specialty. You need that. So that is the part, in fact, is the final learning chapter of your life, which is in fact the most useful part to give you the skills and knowledge to be able to earn your living. And then if Selina can get my slide out, you are now 38 or 39, all right? Before you really feel confident, comfortable that you can treat your own mother and father, okay? You are good. So that's why it's a very long journey, not just for stamina, your own self. You are also competing with the best in your country, all the smart kids, because most of you are the same age, because they take a cohort intake. So there's a lot of time when you feel really depressed, because, you know, and the passing rate for FRCS again is 30%. So all 30% of 30% to get in, it's very tough. So that by the time you made it, you are really, really very, very special. It's very tough to get to the end. And along the way, there are distractions. Marriage, family, the kids, your parents getting older, right? And financial, because during all this training time, until you become a specialist, your pay is still pre-specialist. So you really are on a very tight budget, yeah. And exams are not cheap. If you wanted to get an FRCS overseas, it's a few thousand ringgit, as well as going through some courses which are usually held either Hong Kong or Singapore or something like that. So this is really the your path, your journey. Okay, I don't want to put you off, because once you get there, it's great. Honestly, when I started my private practice, I really had how much money in my bank? I think about 15, 20,000 ringgit left in my bank. It's like ridiculous, you know. And then when you see your friends who are doing other things like lawyers, accountants, and things like that, they're probably driving nice cars. They're probably, living nice life, go out to makan in very expensive restaurants. And that is the reality. Your payback time comes after that. Then you become a specialist, then you are in high command. You can charge, people will look at you in a different light. So you have a very short working time from about 39 to 40 to until about maybe 65. So that is our peak. So our peak is very much later, when in fact most of your friends who are lawyers and things are probably partners and things like that already by the age of 40. Okay, so you have to realize that this is not a sprint. This is a marathon, right? A very slow, arduous marathon. I always say that whichever career you wanted to go into, it's always good if you have a relative or friends or something to tag them, stay with them, go inside there, but not as far as like, when you were in college and then you tag with a doctor, right? That is a formal tagging. No, this is informal. You live, breathe, and see what it's like to be his specialist, because it's a package deal. A lot of people don't see, you get called out in the middle of the night, okay? Our family dinners are disrupted because someone calls us to go in, we have very little time with the kids or your family because you're always training. And that's the part a lot of public people don't see. Say, oh, doctor very rich, okay? They don't see this very painful journey, very arduous journey where we sacrifice a lot of our time, okay, to study, and it's not easy, right? That's why you have to have straight A's to actually get in, because all your competitor, all right, which is your classmates, are all straight A's. If you're an average B student, you find it very difficult to pass your specialist exam at the end, the FRCS, because all over the world, they're all smart kids, right? And they are competing against you. And the pass rate for FRCS, MRCP is 25 to 30%. That's it. Okay, it's a fact. Okay, so I don't want to discourage you going through there, because it's a good journey. So now let's watch the alternative. The next speaker, I think, is from IMR, so he can tell you a little bit about academic. I come from both sides. I'm private, but I was a very academician. I have a doctorate as well. I did research. I published a lot of papers. I published textbooks. You can look through my CV if you like. Alternatives, there are plenty, because I'm at least 2 or 3 generations older than you. So I have friends who've gone to Médecins Sans Frontières. They've done voluntary work, like with Mercy. Some of them, very classic one, they go into pharma. My own cousin's daughter-in-law is one of the regional heads in Glaxo. Is based in Switzerland. A lot of friends go into the insurance industry because they have a career structure there. So they go in and then have a career structure. They become a medical director there, look at all the claims and things from the insurance and things. Very nice, corporate, 9 to 5. Very straightforward. Weekends are wonderful. They can do with their hobbies and things like that. But they'll hit a certain pay structure, and that's basically it. Okay, but it's very comfortable because you start earning that at the age of 30. I start earning at 40. Big difference. Then another route now is a very highly paid managers of hospitals. That the IHH, the one that owns Pantai Gleneagles, previously was Dr. Tan Seeling. He was a GP. He became very successful because he led IHH to listing. Now the next person is actually Dr. Kevin Low. I've met him. He's also an MBBS. But after the MBBS, he knew he doesn't want to be a clinician. He went to do an MBA. Okay, that's a Master's of Business Administration. Most doctors who want to go to entrepreneurship usually do an MBA because it teaches them about how to talk business, how to look at numbers, spreadsheets and things like that. So that's how he has done. And they get paid very, very well. So that's an alternative career, which is very 9 to 5 and may be suited to people who find clinical work too stressing. So my take-home message for you guys is don't stress yourself. There's always other parts. Don't let people, like usually your auntie, typical auntie who say, "Ayya, wasted lah, you doctor, you don't know, see patient." Don't ever get distracted by that. Just treat your doctor's degree, your certificate, as a graduate, as a degree. It is that entry route to lots of other career. A degree, and at the end of the day, if Selina could have put my slide up, when you finish MBBS, that is just paper knowledge. Okay, that is the beginning of your journey. It's not this, the end. That is only the beginning. So if you treat it like a law degree, accounting degree, a business degree, maths degree, it's fine. You just start then, and they will train you. Okay, whoever takes you in will train you. If you go to become an AIA medical director, they will train you. All right. You will go for training course. They will send you for management courses. They will send you to HQ and they will train you. So you have a career structure. And most important thing is 9 to 5 for those people who don't want to go through what we go through. And for those who have gone through to other faculties, I don't want to be elitist or something like that. You realize that actually you are very intelligent. The reason why you feel dumb or not so intelligent when you go into this medical line is because everybody is the top kid, you know. Right? I keep saying that second time, third time, fourth time. Your whole peer group are straight A student. You may be a straight A student in City R1, but you meet your classmate, an A student in BI or from College Tengku Jafar, you know. But when you go to other industries, they are not straight A kids. They are average kids, you know. So you realize that you are very intelligent, but you never realized that when you are in med school. Not everybody is so smarter than you. So don't be discouraged by that. And the second part I always say, this is a very long journey, but it is not the only journey. Like Selina said, there's plenty of other routes now, thankfully. So I suppose I finished my 2 parts of my career already. I did academia, did all my publication and things, realized I don't really like research very much. I didn't like being in the lab. Went to private practice, I enjoyed that. So now it's my final journey. So I decided to go into health tech, which is the healthcare apps, which is very happening now. It's out of my depth because I can't code. I'm not a developer, but I have the vision. Fortunately, I have the money to be able to start this project and learn. I'm now at ground zero again. So the nice thing about medicine is I've always started at ground zero throughout my life. You will go through your ground zero too, but don't be scared. Okay. Fortunately, God has given you brains because that's why you're a medic. Okay, you've graduated. You can adapt. One thing bad about doctors is they are very poor at adapting because they've only got one route. Okay, and it takes a lot of courage. And like Selina said, you always get it from your auntie, your mom, or all the other friends who really undermine your decision. Okay, but as I say, don't make rash decision. Please reach out to me, Selina, or anybody, or she can put you in touch with other people, and I can put you in touch with other people whose route that you would want to take. I always say, don't reinvent the wheel. If you want to do this route, I can help you find someone who has done that. Go and talk to him because he's 1 generation, 2 generations ahead, 5 years, 10 years ahead of you, so that he can tell you the journey that he took or she took, so that you will say, oh, would you be able to take that journey? All right, so that you know what you're going for. I think that's about it. I think my time should be up by now. Is it okay, Selina? Did you hear everything?
Yeah. Actually, you can. There are some questions for you. Somebody asked, how do I approach the medical insurance career pathway?
Oh, that's very easy. There's always. Oh, I didn't see the questions here. There's plenty. You can reach out to us. They're always recruiting. So AIA, every TPA has, TPA means third party administrator, AIA, Allianz, they all bring someone in. I can introduce you to a few. I know people in AIA, Allianz, Asia Assistance, yeah, a lot. So, you can just email me, put you in touch, and then they can introduce you to the life. Every oil rigs and all those oil companies, they always must have a doctor because they are occupational thing. And in fact, almost every single industry have that. Yeah. Going to management in hospitals is also good. You can always apply. Okay, that's good. Pharma, in the beginning, you probably start as a drug rep, but it's okay. All right. So you can email me. I think she can send to you. What other questions are there? Like I said, I always introduce you to the person who's there. Then you see whether you like that kind of job. Don't think it's glamorous, So just go through and see whether you like that person. Always talk to the person. Okay, don't dream about it. Don't think about it. Just ask. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. I was a bit shy before, and I realized that it took a long time for me to accumulate all this knowledge. So I have to share with you guys. Yeah. Okay. What else is there? What other questions, Selina?
Okay, that's another question. Someone's asking, a lot of fears of medical graduates and doctors is that the lack of an APC or MMC registration will limit their options. So what's your take on this?
So I missed that last bit. The APC and MMC what?
Will limit their options.
Why?
It will limit
Not
their
having-
options. As in,
not
if they
having-
do not have APC, they don't have a MMC registration. So
yeah,
it seems like there's nothing else they can do. So what's your
Correct.
take on this?
That I already mentioned that during the first part, that you cannot not do your houseman job. You must get that houseman job as a STEM backup. Okay. To be fair, if you had gone into let's say medical insurance, right? They probably won't need your APC at all, okay? Because that's just a degree. But there may be times when they will say, okay, what's your APC number, right? And you don't have it, okay? So don't compromise on that. Take it, you must do it. So it's now just waiting to get your house job. It's like there's another 2 years of your life, yeah. So in the meantime, if you don't know what to do, you can always email me and see whether I can get up. Because you can't do locums, okay? That's one thing you can't do, right? But you can do, let's say, medical journalism, write about things. I can get a job for you if you want, working for me, doing writing.
Okay, seems like we have lost Dr. Hoh. Okay, if anyone wants his to contact Dr. Hoh, I think they can contact him on TELEME.
But you must try to license to practice. License to practice is free. Okay, don't compromise. It's a bit the Wi-Fi. Okay, yeah. Any other questions? Yeah. Yeah. Please take your APC, even though it means waiting. Just wait. Just wait. There's no hurry for that. In the meantime, if you need some help, I see whether I can find you some, monkey jobs. I mean, no choice because you can't do medicine. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Hoh, how can they contact you?
It's in my slide there. You pass it to them. Yeah. Dr. Hoh at teleme.co. Can sign. Yeah. Okay, I've got another question here, as usual. Yeah. Oh, you've gone to AIA. That's great.
Okay, so there's another question by Catherine. It says, hi, Dr. Hoh and Selina. I am currently working as a medical officer in HKL. I have done 1 month plus of internship in AIA, but as initial guarantee issuer, I have approached recently to the medical director and interviewed for a post of medical manager knowledge and fraud. However, I do realize that I'm rather inexperienced and is rejected for that post. I have also applied for Cigna MNC company. May I know the post that's suitable for me as a 3-year MO?
Actually, yeah, I see it. I'm reading it now. Actually, it's actually 3-year MO is actually quite a lot already. Actually, to be fair, maybe Catherine, just reach out to me and see whether I can link you up to somebody else. Okay, because 3 years MO is very good because fresh out is a bit tough. 3 years you already know a little bit of things because when you are checking out fraud and claims, you need to know a little bit about what operations are done and things like that. So you do need a little bit of experience. 3 years is quite valuable actually. I presume you have your APC, of course. Yeah. Catherine, just send me an email, drho@teleme.co. Yeah.